Hi there, I'm Danny Flexen. Welcome to this week's edition, rather festive edition, if you can see behind me, of SecondsOut ReFLEXions. Don't normally have much background when we do this, but my son and I put the Christmas tree up yesterday and I didn't want it to go to waste. If it looks terrible, then he did it all himself. If it looks really good, I was an expert supervisor. But either way, we're not here to talk about Christmas, at least not yet. Not until we're there for ReFLEXpectations for the fight before Christmas. Still love that name. We're here to talk about another Frank Warren show, at least first of all. The Midlands Mayhem event in Birmingham that took place on Saturday night. And I think it delivered plenty of entertainment. I've got to say, 6 title fights, varying quality of course. Biggest disappointment probably the Liam Taylor and Chris Jenkins for the British welterweight title going to a technical draw, less than 4 rounds completed. Jenkins, bad cut on the eye, he's often cut, unfortunately. It could be his Achilles heel, if you like, a bit like Billy Schwer in the older days. But that aside, we saw an incredible upset in the main event as John Riel Casimero stopped Zolani Tete for the WBO bantamweight title. I've got to say, after the last few weeks, we've had some terrible judges' scorecards, so it was kind of refreshing in a way to see a boxer take the matter out of the judges' hands and grasp the nettle. Casimero was great. He probably lost the first 2 rounds, being stuck on the end of Tete's southpaw jab, struggling a little bit to get inside, but never stopped trying, obviously, and the warning signs were there, I think, for Tete. And then all of a sudden it happened. Casimero, round 3, stepped in with a short right hand, just completely froze Tete. His legs never recovered from that. Casimero then darted round to the side, almost behind Tete, and landed another crashing right to the side of the temple. Tete went down, got up, didn't look great, to be fair, on the resumption, but did his best, tried to move away, but his legs just kept betraying him. He moved as far as the ropes, then he was trapped, got caught with a massive left hook, and the referee Whiteley? No, that was a Freudian slip, wasn't it? The referee rightly waved it off, and we have a new champion from the Philippines. And although it was a case of a Filipino against a South African in Birmingham, as incongruous as that sounds, it must have felt to Casimero like he was the away fighter for most of the fight week. Tete's a Frank Warren fighter, of course. He's fought in the UK a few times before, whereas Casimero, we remember coming over to beat Charlie Edwards previously. Great win for him. He's now a 3-weight world champion. Only, I think, 3 other Filipinos have done that in the past. Donaire, Pacquiao have obviously both won more titles than that, and one more whose name escapes me at the moment, or I was reading it on Twitter yesterday. But yeah, 3-weight world champion, and now he's going to be looking for that Inoue fight that Tete wanted for himself. And Casimero did predict, when I interviewed him earlier, and the video's still doing quite good numbers on our channel, he said he shouldn't be looking past me to Inoue. I'll beat him and then I'll get the Inoue fight for myself. And that could happen now. But even if it doesn't, there's other fights out there for him. Charlie Edwards, former victim, of course, of Casimero, is saying he's coming back in the new year at bantamweight, although he might still drop down superfly at a later date. So there's plenty of options out there for Casimero. But what a great victory. Really didn't leave it up to anyone else, went in there, known as a big banger, and got Tete out of there. No one's done that for a long, long time. Tete had been unbeaten for, I think, a decade maybe, but I'd have to have a look. It might be less than that, but great win for him. Tete can still rebuild, hopefully. But yeah, well done to Casimero. Also well done to Lorraine Richards, won the vacant British super middleweight title. Clear points victory, at least in my view, although it was split officially against Lennox Clark. Felt a bit sorry for Richards not to get the unanimous decision. I couldn't really agree with Marcus McDonald's scorecard in favour of Lennox Clark. He tried very hard and certainly came into things more in the second half of the fight, but for the most part I thought Richards dominated with exemplary back foot boxing, punch picking, mobility. Thought he was very good. Not the most entertaining of fights, has to be said, but he was good to watch. Sam Maxwell outclassed Conor Parker. That was good for him. One of my favourite fights on the bill was Hamza Shiraz making a step up against Ryan Kelly. Got some, Kelly put up a real good fight in the early rounds, but Shiraz eventually got to him. For someone so tall, he actually handles himself pretty well on the inside. He's 6'1", super welter. But not only that, he's a really good body puncher, and that was very effective against Kelly, so he got the stoppage as well. And I'm trying to think of what the other... Oh, and Anthony Kakachi, big well done to him. Trainer Harry Hawkins, who sadly lost his father recently, put on a really good display, withstood pressure from Sam Bowen, British super lightweight champion, to take the title after coming very close in his previous attempts, not super lightweight, sorry, super featherweight. previous attempts at the belt against Martin J. Ward. Felt he did enough to win that, but didn't get it on the cards. This time round, he got it against Bowen, and he can look forward to a bright future. The Apache has finally delivered on some of that undoubted talent that he has and potential. So that was a really good show. I should also say before I go, well done to Carl Frampton. Completely outclassed Tyler McCreary, and we will now look ahead to a super featherweight title shot against Jamel Herring. Talks about Filipino 3-weight world champions. I believe Frampton could become the first Irish 3-weight world champion should he unseat Herring. So good luck to him in that. Oscar Valdez also got off the deck to beat a late substitute in Adam Lopez. And Joe Cordina made his super featherweight debut against Enrique Tinoco and looked really good in doing so. So fingers crossed he vacates that British lightweight title to allow some other people to fight for it and stays at super feather where he looks like he could be really effective. Now that's my take on things. I really want to hear yours. What's next for Casimero? What did you think of the judges' scores in some of the fights? Who was your performance of the weekend? Casimero seems an obvious choice, but he wasn't the only one to fight. So let us know what you think in the comments and we'll respond to some of them. I'll be back next week, Monday, 4:30 PM for the next ReFLEXions. And I'll also be here Thursday, 4:30 PM for FLEXpectations. Looking ahead, of course, to Clash on the Dunes, the big Anthony Joshua, Andy Ruiz, or Andy Ruiz, Anthony Joshua, to get in the right order, rematch in Saudi Arabia. Thanks for your time, and I'll see you soon.